Hello and welcome to the Conceptual Codon. Today we will discuss about a topic from neonatology, that is hemorrhagic disease of newborn or HDN. So from the title itself we can derive that it is a hemorrhagic manifestation in case of a newborn, and the cause of the hemorrhagic manifestation is vitamin K deficiency. So what is hemorrhagic disease of newborn or HDN? It is hemorrhagic manifestations in a newborn baby due to vitamin K deficiency. Now we will look into the pathogenesis of hemorrhagic disease of newborn. In case of newborn, they are physiologically deficient in vitamin K. But why so? Because there is a minimal transplacental passage of vitamin K. There is a very minimal transport of vitamin K from maternal circulation to fetal circulation. Adding up to the minimal transplacental passage, there is also limited storage of vitamin K in the liver. So minimal transplacental passage of vitamin K and limited hepatic storage of vitamin K leads to the physiological deficiency of vitamin K in case of newborn. Moreover, in breast milk, there is a low content of vitamin K. Usually the newborns are breastfed, but in breast milk there is low vitamin K that adds to the physiological deficiency of vitamin K in newborns. There may be some aggravating factors as well. Some aggravating factors may be from the maternal side, like maternal drug intake, or some may be from fetal side, like malabsorption, cholestasis, etc. So due to all these causes like minimal transplacental passage, limited hepatic storage, low content of vitamin K in breast milk, or some aggravating factors, there is a vitamin K deficiency state in newborn. Now vitamin K plays an important role in activation of some clotting factors. These clotting factors are called vitamin K dependent clotting factors. These are clotting factors 2, 7, 9 and 10. What does vitamin K do? Vitamin K helps in the carboxylation of glutamic acid residues in these clotting factors, and that helps them to become activated. But in newborns, there is a deficiency of vitamin K, so there is defective carboxylation of glutamic acid residues in these clotting factors, that is 2, 7, 9 and 10. As there is defective activation of these clotting factors, the clotting mechanism gets impaired, and that leads to bleeding manifestations in the newborn. That is all about the pathogenesis of vitamin K deficiency bleeding or hemorrhagic disease of newborn. Now let's move on to the types of HDN. There are three types of HDN: classical HDN, early HDN and late HDN. Here what you will have to remember is that classical HDN usually presents with minor bleedings. They are not life threatening. But early HDN and late HDN presents with life threatening bleeding or major bleedings. Classical HDN is the most common type of HDN, and it occurs due to physiological vitamin K deficiency, the causes of which we have discussed in the pathogenesis, like minimal transplacental transmission of vitamin K and limited hepatic storage. And it is aggravated by exclusive breastfeeding, as the breast milk is deficient in vitamin K as well. The presentation in case of classical HDN occurs in the first week of life, that is first 1 to 7 days, usually in the second or third day of life. And the manifestations are not life threatening. They are minor bleedings like GI bleeding, nasal bleeding, umbilical stump bleeding, etc. They are not life threatening. Early HDN. Early HDN presentation is within 24 hours of life or in utero. So if the HDN, the hemorrhagic manifestations are seen within 24 hours of life, within 1 day of life or in utero, it is called early hemorrhagic disease of newborn. There are some risk factors like maternal drug intake. Which drugs are responsible? They are warfarin, anticonvulsants like phenobarbital, and some antitubercular drugs as well, like rifampicin, isoniazid, etc. The presentation is usually life-threatening hemorrhagic manifestations. They are concealed hemorrhages inside the cranium or in the thorax or abdominal cavity. Now coming to the late HDN or the third type of hemorrhagic disease of newborn. Here the risk factors are usually on the fetal side. They are cholestasis, malabsorption, chronic diarrhea, or prolonged administration of broad spectrum antibiotics. Those broad spectrum antibiotics prolonged administration can be done in case of neonatal sepsis. Now the presentation is usually after first week of life. So in case of classical HDN, it is within first week of life. In case of early HDN, the presentations occur within first day of life or in utero. In case of late HDN, it presents after first week of life. The time limit is 2 weeks to 16 weeks. Like early HDN, here also the bleeding manifestations will be life-threatening. Maybe intracranial bleeding, or bleeding may occur from any side like skin, GIT, etc. Now, how can we diagnose vitamin K deficiency bleeding or hemorrhagic disease of newborn? The infants do not appear clinically ill or toxic. It is very important. Because of this cause, this diagnosis can be missed. But there is some bleeding manifestation. In case of early or late HDN, there is life-threatening bleeding manifestation. But there can be concealed hemorrhages as well in the cranial cavity. So, they will not be evident. Now, the coagulation profile is very important in the diagnosis. Bleeding time is normal because bleeding time depends on the platelet. Here, platelets are normal, only the vitamin K dependent clotting factors have been defective. So, bleeding time will be normal. Clotting time, that depends on the clotting factor, so it will be prolonged. Prothrombin time will be prolonged, and activated partial thromboplastin time APTT will be prolonged. Here is an interesting fact is that factor 7 has the minimal half-life. Vitamin K dependent clotting factors 2, 7, 9 and 10 will get depleted, but as factor 7 has the minimal half-life, it will get depleted fast. Now, factor 7 is involved in the extrinsic clotting pathway, and the changes of the clotting factors, the derangement of the clotting factors involved in extrinsic clotting pathway is depicted in prothrombin time. So initially, when the vitamin K dependent clotting factors, other clotting factors like 2, 9 and 10 are normal, but only the factor 7 has been depleted due to its lowest half-life, the prothrombin time will be prolonged because the derangement occurs in the extrinsic pathway of clotting system first. But APTT, which reflects the changes in the intrinsic pathway, will be normal. So that is written here that APTT may be normal initially because when only the factor 7 gets depleted, and there will be in the early stages increased prothrombin time but normal APTT. Some proteins are induced in vitamin K absence like PIVGA, that is protein induced in vitamin K absence, is elevated. Especially PIVGA2, PIVGA type 2 is elevated in this hemorrhagic disease of newborn. Regarding the prophylaxis and treatment of vitamin K deficiency bleeding. Prophylaxis, all newborns born in hospital settings should be given vitamin K orally or intramuscularly. The dose should be given at birth or within 24 hours of life. Now, what is the dose? The dose is 0.5 milligram for newborns who are less than 1 kg birth weight, and the dose is 1 milligram of vitamin K if the birth weight is greater than 1 kg. The oral dose is 3 doses, 1 at birth and 2 doses are given subsequently later. But the intramuscular dose, which is given here 0.5 or 1 milligram according to the birth weight, is a single dose. Intramuscular dose is preferred over the oral doses. Why? Because in oral dose, there are 3 doses. So the subsequent doses may be missed due to lack of compliance. Another fact that oral dosage depends on the absorption of vitamin K from the intestine. So it is dependent on the intestinal system or gastrointestinal system of the newborn, which may be immature, or there may be presence of cholestasis, which may impair the absorption of vitamin K. But intramuscular dose is more compliant and it does not depend on absorption from the gastrointestinal system. So intramuscular dosage is preferred. So that is all about the prophylaxis of hemorrhagic disease of newborn. Now coming to the treatment. How will we treat hemorrhagic disease of newborn? So treatment obviously include vitamin K, because vitamin K deficiency is the main pathogenesis or main cause of hemorrhagic disease of newborn. Now vitamin K has 3 forms. K1 has a plant source, K2 is an animal source, and both are safe in newborn. K1 and K2 are safe in newborn. But K3, which is synthetic, is potentially toxic. Usually the vitamin K used is K1, that is from plant source. You can see in the picture, the vitamin K is in an amber colored bottle. That indicates vitamin K is highly photosensitive. So it is kept in a dark colored bottle and away from sunlight. Coming to the treatment of various types of HDN. Classical HDN is treated with vitamin K 1 to 2 milligram IV or IM. Vitamin K 1 to 2 milligram IV and IM is given and it causes a dramatic response. In case of early HDN, the predisposing factors are identified like maternal drug intake. If the mother is taking anticonvulsants or warfarin or rifampicin, they should receive vitamin K 2 milligram at birth. And the delivery should preferably by lower uterine cesarean section. Coming to the late hemorrhagic disease of newborn, again the predisposed infants like infants with cholestasis or malabsorption syndrome or infants who have received prolonged course of broad spectrum antibiotics should receive vitamin K1 1 milligram intramuscular monthly. It is a monthly dose till the underlying disorder is controlled. Now, if the newborn presents with a life-threatening hemorrhage due to vitamin K deficiency, so again, if there is life-threatening hemorrhage, usually occurs in early HDN and late HDN. Minor bleeding occurs in classical HDN. If the newborn presents with life-threatening hemorrhage, fresh frozen plasma transfusion along with vitamin K injection should be done. Again, if there is greater than 20% of blood loss, whole blood or packed RBC transfusion can also be done. So that concludes our today's topic, hemorrhagic disease of newborn or vitamin K deficiency bleeding. You can access and download the notes of this topic from our Facebook page and from our website. Both the links are given in the description. If you found the video helpful, please like and share and don't forget to subscribe for more conceptual videos like this.